A very good morning to everybody and a warm welcome to the Sanctuary City Convention Centre in Cape Town. This is the home of the Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium South Africa, which basically brings together all the role players and the key stakeholders in infrastructure investment in South Africa. As I did allude to earlier on, infrastructure investment is a very key aspect and a key catalyst for economic development, in particular when it comes to the emerging market economies. And I did raise the fact that the future investment needs of a country far exceed what the government is spending, hence leading to an investment infrastructure funding gap. That's what we're going to be discussing with the ISA. That's the Infrastructure South Africa acting head of infrastructure, Mameetse Masemola. A very good morning to Ms. Masemola. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much, Simphiwe, and thank you for inviting us to this interview.
Now, this symposium is in full swing, and in the next hour or so, we do understand that the president will be addressing it and giving his keynote address. And we've seen yesterday the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, saying that about 233 billion rand is in the pipeline in terms of construction projects. So what are some of the deliverables that you expect to come out of this symposium?
Well, so firstly, we are bringing together role players in the infrastructure space. So critical decision makers, from financiers to funders, development finance institutions, multilateral development banks. We also are bringing together policy makers, the departments that are mandated to set policy, whether it's on energy, it's on water and sanitation, it's on ICTs, as well as practitioners. So the people that actually deliver the infrastructure itself and construct infrastructure in the country. Firstly, we are bringing them together to be under one roof, to have discussions ranging from the policy and regulatory environment to the impediments to infrastructure delivery in the country and mechanisms of closing that infrastructure investment gap that you have referred to. Some of the deliverables for the symposium, firstly, is the launch of the construction book. Very critical one. We've been tasked as Infrastructure South Africa to signal to the construction sector and give them a sense of what is the pipeline of projects that are ready to go to market and to construction in the next financial year, meaning anytime from April this year right through to 2025. So that's the first deliverable and a concrete one for that matter. Then we're also signaling to the business consulting sector as well as the infrastructure role players on the projects that Infrastructure South Africa is going to be investing in to prepare and package these projects. So to graduate them from being moving them from conceptual stage right through to bankability, so that they can be funded, so that they can be implemented. So we'll be launching those top 12 priority infrastructure projects.
Speaking of that, moving it from conception stage to bankability, I want us to talk about the success rate in terms of balancing policy formulation and then deliverables and then the actual implementation of the project. So what has been that rate? And if we're lacking behind, where is the problem? Where are the gaps?
So research shows us that only 10% of projects actually get to financial close because of lack of preparation and planning for those projects, especially when you talk about catalytic projects, mega projects, especially public sector-led infrastructure projects. So we are investing upstream in the planning and preparation of those projects so that we address the issues of the failure rate that we're seeing at the moment. And it's as a result of multiple factors. One of them is that we don't have the requisite skill sets. We have a decimation, we've witnessed a decimation of financial and technical engineering capacity within government to plan and prepare for these projects, whether to make them bankable, one, and two, at the project delivery stage. So it's a multiple factors that are affecting the success rate or the success rate of implementation of these projects. So we are filling that gap as Infrastructure South Africa, which is a dire need at the moment. So we will be working with project sponsors, project owners to move those projects, to graduate them from conceptual stage right through to bankability and implementation.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, Ms. Masemola, but from a policy perspective, so is there any willingness on the part of the government to promulgate or formulate policies that would see to it that all public office bearers and stakeholders in the construction, or rather in the infrastructure development space, tend to abide by some of the deliverables that have been implemented by the various stakeholders? Then, in short, what is it that needs to be done by the government to ensure that the municipalities, which I spoke to the Department of Public Works Minister earlier on, that there is gross underspending in some of these municipalities? What can be done to ensure accountability?
It goes back to the issues of capacity, Simphiwe. Ultimately, the issue around underspending in government, and particularly at municipality level, is the two things: lack of proper planning for the projects, then is the capacity to implement, and then it's issues around the technical skills when it comes to contracting. Contract management. Municipalities don't deliver infrastructure by themselves. There are service providers that are appointed to deliver those projects. So at the contract phase, that's where you need to build in the issues around penalties, around mechanisms to offboard service providers that are simply not able to keep to the time schedule, as well as the deliverables as per the municipality's expectations. So, and that runs right across, whether it's municipalities, it's provincial government, it's national government departments, public entities, etc.
Ms. Masemola, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was the acting head of infrastructure at Infrastructure South Africa, Ms. Mameetse Masemola. All right, we're going to hand it back to you in studio, and a little later on we'll do a walkabout here at the exhibition hall, just having a conversation with the different exhibitors on what they should expect today. Back to you.